Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be, and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel. I'm, of course, Dan, DpuizY, and this is a Indy show review for the new year, of course, because, we're in 2025 now, so let's celebrate with a bang. I am also going to be working on my backlog of stuff, so in the next coming few weeks, hopefully, you should be seeing more reviews out of stuff that happened earlier last year. It's all been part of not a plan, but it's all been part of a program, so to speak, where I've been catching up on my old stuff. Because I'm behind by a fair bit because of everything that happened last year. In regards to the channel changing and stuff, I fell behind, and then my own personal issues came up with like illnesses and stuff like that, etc. Where I wasn't able to catch up on the old shows I've fallen behind on. But this year, that changes. I'm gonna catch up, okay? And I'm hoping to catch up before the end of February. And because I'm behind by a few shows, that's why I'm putting that sort of time frame on it. Anyway, with that in mind, we are here for an indie show review. So let me go ahead and fix that screen. There we go. Look at that screen. Anyway, we are here to talk about a brand new show that I had never attended before, and I have no idea what to do going into it. I attended Lucha Britannia. Now, what are Lucha Britannia? Lucha Britannia are a independent wrestling company who focus on dramatics and cabaret and all that kind of stuff, really. I got introduced to them a while back, but I never found a time to actually attend one of their shows. Always seemed a bit wacky, a bit more out there, but the main thing was, for me, that they seemed to offer an alternative sort of thing as to what was normally available on the scene. Like, you think of your Progresses or your Rev Pros, these guys do wrestling, but in a very different way. So yeah, with all that in mind, let's just talk about the show and talk about where it was and all that stuff. So where was it exactly? It was at the O2 Arena, not the main O2 Arena. It was the Indigo, which is like the smaller venue inside the O2 itself. I'll put up images and stuff like that, but this was a collaborative show between Lucha Britannia and a group called Duggee. Now, I bet you're asking, who are Duggee? Because I was also asked that same question. Duggee are a heavy metal band that focus on doing covers of, and I could be wrong on this completely, so if someone has better knowledge than me on this subject, please let me know. I believe they're a heavy metal band that focus on doing covers in metal, but of children's themes and children's music and that sort of stuff. So like, for example, the SpongeBob SquarePants theme, or the Bob the Builder theme, or whatever, stuff like that, basically, but in metal. So this is a collaboration show between those two groups. Scheduled to start at 12:30, and in true British show fashion, it didn't start until about 10 minutes afterwards. So we kick things off with a Duggee performance. Just introduction to the band, who they are, and at this point you realise what you're in for. The lead singer is wearing a dog suit, not mask. It's a I don't know the word for it. It's like a dog suit head, basically, a dog head, yeah. And they all are the band, but this is the main one talking. And they just talk about themselves, who they are, what they bring to the table, and they do a whole opening segment. I'll put a little snippet of it up here on the screen somewhere.
Bands who specialise in turning children's TV theme tunes into headbangers. This is Duggee.
I took a few videos of them and what was going on and stuff. About 3 minutes or so of that, and then we got into the introductions. We were introduced to the host or the MC for the show, who is called Jackson Roses, which is frankly a phenomenal name. And we were also introduced to Goldilocks, who is a friend of mine, who I was aware of, who I'd met previously, and how I'd found out more about Lucha Britannia in the first place. What followed actually would be the first match of the night, and this is a 3-match card, bear that in mind. This is not a wrestling heavy kind of show, which is to be expected because it was ultimately a midday show. So firstly, we have something called a Lucha Chaos match. So naturally, you expect a bit more chaos, lucha stuff. You know how it is. So we had Patito Peligroso, which is the dangerous duckling in, I believe, loose English, taking on Oli De La Paz, taking on Illusionisto, taking on K-Rod, taking on Dragon Estrano, and taking on the heaviest light heavyweight himself, Jay Bakewell. I won't lie, the only person I'm really familiar with here is Jay Bakewell, and that's only because I've known the guy, like wrestling wise, since 2019. I'll put little subtitles as well of like names and stuff, so you can look into them further if you wanted to do that. So the match ends ultimately with Patito Peligroso hitting Dragon Extrano over the head with a baguette. And you heard that right. A baguette was used as a foreign weapon to win a match. I will say earlier in injury into the entrance of Peligroso, I was threatened with a baguette. So, you know, there is an element of fear and threat to that baguette. But yeah, the match itself, I rated it about 2 3/4 stars, like 3 stars. No, it was 3 stars actually. No, it was 3 stars. It was a decent enough opener. It was chaotic. It was lucha-y. It was good lucha stuff. I haven't really got many words for this sort of match. It's just sort of the thing that you expect to open a show, and it does a good enough job to get the crowd hot enough for whatever is to come next. So yeah, that's all that was really to that match. It was a 6-way. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, a 6-way. That was ultimately won by Patito Peligroso, who I believe they were saying on the comms, because Jackson Roses and Goldilocks were doing live commentary of sorts as the match went on. They explained how Patito Peligroso has been a constant threat or a constant evil or constant danger in the realm of Lucha Britannia for the last few years. So do with that info what you will. And also, it should be said before I continue, these reviews that we do, and this is something I say going forward now into 2025, are not to be taking gospel. Everything that I say and everything that I do on this channel should be is of my own opinion. And if you want to go out your own way and find the stuff, you can. I don't know if Lucha Britannia post their stuff personally. I know other companies do, and I'll put links to wherever I can. But always try and stick at the show yourself rather than just watching this review, because I could be really scathing a show, I could be really praising a show where you might not like it, you might enjoy it. It depends, you know? So yeah, that should have been at the start of the video, but we're moving. Following on from this though, we had an intermission act from Duggee. They're doing more songs basically. I'll put more clips somewhere. So yeah, that was Duggee. They did their thing, and there was just more songs, and then they did this thing as well where it was like they wanted to get crowd participation, and there was this thing where they were like you had to crouch down, and they were like, you've got to crouch down otherwise the show won't continue, sort of thing. So it's like you had to crouch down, and when you got to a certain bit in the song, you had to like jump up and go crazy and stuff. This worked to an extent, I guess, but it did sort of hold the crowd hostage. But no, I respect that bit of it. What I did respect that bit though was my knees, because I've got horrible knees and I can't crouch down like that. However, that was the intermission of that, and then we went into the next match of the night. Again, this is a 3-match card, so this is literally the penultimate match. It's a tag team mayhem match. We had, I didn't write it down, damn it. It's Chica Loca Joker teaming up with Il Piranha, taking on Thug. Firstly, Thug, who I'd seen before at festival shows, and a name that I never thought I'd say, but the Savior of Flavor and the Prince of Porcopia. It's basically Pork and Utopia mixed together. It's like Porcopia. It's something like that. Super Tasty Bacon Jr. Firstly, I know nothing, but secondly, that's an amazing luchador name. So yeah, that was the tag match. We had Chica Loca Joker and Il Piranha against Savior of Flavor, Prince of Porcopia, Super Tasty Bacon Jr. and Thug. It sounds like a tongue twister the more time you say it. Before I get into the result though, I want to give a quick shout out to Chica Loca Joker. Phenomenal, like, outfit, face paint, like, amazing, like, character. It reminds me of like a Rosemary, like, sort of TNA situation. It reminds me of that sort of character. But honestly, incredible stuff. And like, if you've seen like even just the promo work that she was doing, like in the build up to this show, like it's very much, I can't think of the word, like it's very like demon-esque as well. Like it's very good, very screechy as well as the voice, like a demon. But yeah, shout out to her, great stuff. Anyway, Thug and Bacon Jr. Hit the Thug 5, which is a F5, and the Bacon Splash, I think they called it, which was a splash, I want to say. I could be wrong on that. I was writing my notes as well for this, so I did kind of miss the ending a little bit. But that does get the 3 count, and I believe they pinned Piranha. Giving the pinfall victory for Bacon Jr. and for Thug. I rated this again, like, just 3 stars. Like, it. The thing is with these sorts of shows as well, like, it's. You're gonna get a certain kind of match, in that there's bad guys and there's good guys. We've had, the big chaos match where everyone's everyone, and now we have the good guys versus the bad guys match, but in an attack match. My main notes here are just Bacon Jr. is really over. Thug's over and they're a big guy, so it makes sense as to why they're over like that. But Bacon Jr., Jesus, the crowd hype for that guy is insane. In regards to that though, I said 3 stars is what I rated it, and that would be purely because it was a good, serviceable tag match. It hit all spots. It hit all the checkpoints it was going to hit. Like, it was all there. It was fine. Again, nothing spectacular, but nothing bad at the same time. What is it? Actually, no. So one thing spectacular. Chica Loca Joker. After this, we had another intermission from Slay Duggee. If I've got more clips of Slay Duggee, I'll put them up here somewhere. Slay Duggee once again. After this, we get Jackson Roses. He's here, and he's gonna just talk about something I think before the main event happens, whatever that might be. However, he is introduced. He is interrupted. There we go. By Hombre del Roca. Again, I don't know who this is. But he interrupts proceedings basically going on. He proceeds to cut a heel promo where he calls the children fat and ugly. Says they're eating too much candy, and he even talks about the mothers. He says, "Bah humbug, Christmas sucks." Just like heavy metal music. And then that genuinely got a cheer out of me. I got a couple of looks from the people like around me and stuff like that, but like other than that, like no one really noticed. I don't think. But yeah, he says "Bah humbug, Christmas sucks." So does heavy metal music, and then the real music is Mexican music. And then he's interrupted by the, he's being all big heely heel, and he's interrupted by the facey face. It's Marduk Malik, which is who is the hard hitter Malik, from BritWres, as I know to be that. But it's called Marduk here, so not to be confused with Babadook or with Marmaduke. Marduk Malik. So your impromptu main event is a traditional heel v face match where you have the hated heel in Hombre de Roca and the cheered face in Marduk Malik. Yeah. The end of the match. Pardon me. The end of the match comes after Malik accidentally takes the ref out. There's a low blow hit to Malik, followed by a slow 2 count. Literally, the ref is like 1, 2, and then nothing. After this, we get a bunch of chaos. Once again, as out comes Petito Pelagroso. He knocks out Jackson Roses with the baguette, followed by K-Rod, and then all the others from the card come out. Lots of chaos, stage dive, tope suicidas, suicide dives, all that sort of stuff. Eventually, Dragon Extrano is taken out by Hombre del Roca, and then Malik wins with the godlike knee, following 2 stunners as well on Hombre. And Malik is your big face winner of the night, and that is your show. I rated that match firstly 3.25 stars. I enjoyed it a bit more, just a slight bit more than the others, but it knew what it was there to do, and I realised in this match what the show was, or at least what it seemed to be, in my opinion. So from what I understand, I'll say as well first, the match was good. Malik's really good. Hombre's good in his role. I don't know who that is necessarily normally, or if it's just Hombre del Roca. I could be really off on that. I don't know. But Malik's really good, and I've always been a supporter of Malik, so that's why I'm hoorah. But the match is good. The match is fine. It serves the purpose it's meant to serve. Bad guy, good guy, and yeah, I have my main notes on it really. Hombre's a good crowd worker as well, so that's gonna get you quite far in the business. But with that in mind, that match did sort of open my eyes to this and what this show was. However, before we get to that part of the review, we end the show with a Slay Duggee performance / dance off / everything. Literally everyone is in the ring. They do a dance. Not the fans. The wrestlers are in the ring, doing dancing and like a. I can't remember the word, but you know, like when there's like lines on the side and you go down the middle of it dancing sort of thing. One of those. And that's basically it. Then a big group photo for the end. while Slayदाखेरि played us out, essentially. And that was the show. That was Lucha Britannia at the Indigo at the O2. Overall, I will say that this show I don't think was meant for me, nor was I the intended audience for this kind of show. I was second in the queue. I began to get slight red flags when I saw like toddlers, I saw buggies of kids and stuff like that. And I was like, is this the sort of show that you bring your kids to? Because in my head it didn't click. You know, it's a noon show. You wouldn't run a typically more adult show at noon. So I think this is more just a teaser or a taster session sort of show, while also mixing in the heavy metal influence of Duggee as well. Heavy metal, not my thing. The venue's good. The venue's very good for that sort of thing, but ultimately the atmosphere was kind of quiet, and I think Duggee did pick up on that. In that they were like, "Go crazy, yeah," and then no one was doing it, or there was very few people doing it, which is ultimately not what you want from this sort of venue. And they tried to warm up the crowd for the wrestling, which I felt maybe should have been the other way around. It was like, this is a wrestling show foremost, and probably the wrestling. I would have, if I was them, I would have started off with the Chaos 6-way, and then brought in Duggee rather than the other way around, because heavy metal won't do much to hype up kids so much, you know. But yeah, with that in mind, that does unfortunately bring an end to this review. Rest assured, I am going to go out my way again to watch Lucha Britannia the way it's properly meant to be intended, which is normally, I think, an evening show of some kind, because they have all kinds of acts coming in and out. It's like Pro Wrestling Eve to an extent, in like the sorts of acts that they have come in to do post shows or pre shows or intermissions, whatever. But also, from like talking to some of the regulars who go as well, like there's just stuff that they couldn't do here that they would do at normal shows. So this is not going to go against Lucha Britannia in any way in my own mind. And again, do not take these as gospel. Please go out your own way to find out what happened. Read the article that's in the Times, or the Rooters thing. I'm not sure what Rooters is. I just saw they posted about it. Go read those as well. Like, don't just take this guy's opinion to be the main opinion that you take from this. But with that in mind, let's bring an end to a review. I've been Dan, DpuizY. I'm there on Twitter or X if you want to follow me there. I know it's not cool to be on Twitter or X nowadays, but it's all I have for my own account. As in regards to show outlets, we have our Instagram down there, Facebook there, Twitter or X, again, I know, and Twitch. We're also on Blue Sky, which I know is, oh hey, Blue Sky. But it is all there. It's all in the description below as well, in a link tree. And I believe that's all I've got to pay. I believe that's all I've got to plug here. So yeah, I've been Dan, DpuizY, and I'll be seeing you more in 2025. I butchered that outro, but there you go.